Hello, hello, and welcome back to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick. I am Felicia Connor.
And I'm Tawny Ray.
And tonight you join us for the movie The Dark and the Wicked. But before we pop into that, first of all, you know it, we're going to curse and we're going to spoil the shit out of this movie. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want it spoiled, get out of here. Go find, go listen to another episode and then come back. And also, what are you drinking, Tawny?
I have, for tonight, a beer, which I usually don't do, but it was crafted to remove gluten. So let's see. It's a Deschutes Little Squeezy Juicy Pale, is what it's called.
Little Squeezy, I like that.
And I'm trying to see, there was like, yeah, it says crafted to remove gluten. No, it's on this side.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Remove gluten.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. I like it. And I just yesterday was having a porch beer, porch drinks, and a beer goes really nice on the porch. So that's what I got. What are you drinking?
Nice. I'm drinking whiskey. I am drinking Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It's one of my favorites.
That sounds good.
It's very yummy. I think I drank most of this bottle. My husband's probably really sad that he got me into liking whiskey.
Sorry.
We went to a restaurant called Bourbon and Bones, and it was so good. They have over 150 bourbons, and then steak and seafood and stuff like that. And it was so good. And I got him in. I did get a old fashioned because I like to try old fashions everywhere because everyone makes them a little different. And then I literally had a glass like this of whiskey. This is neat, right?
Yeah.
Like no ice or anything. And I felt like real baller.
Did you feel real cool?
Yeah, I felt real cool. Yeah, like I was playing with the big dogs right there.
Yeah.
She's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Of course I'm sure." How else would I drink it? Of course I'm sure.
Is that sexist, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Rolling with the big dogs. I like it.
Rolling with the big dogs. I can't get rid of that big dog term. I'm just going to go for it. Oh, what have you watched?
Oh, what have I watched? I literally just drew a complete blank.
I did too when I asked you. When I asked you, I went, well, shit, what did I watch? Sometimes I slack it to myself so I can remember. And, I didn't slack anything to myself.
We did watch, we started watching Invincible. Invincible is the name. And it's like a cartoon series done by Robert Kirkman, who did The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
And
you talked about that last time.
Yeah, and then I cut it out, so I'm going to talk about it.
Oh, shit, sorry. I forgot. My bad.
No worries. It's all right. I don't know if I like it yet. And then we started watching the new season of Solar Opposites, which I really, really like. I really like this show. I'm generally not an animated show person, but it's fun. It's by the same people who did Rick and Morty. And I like it better than Rick and Morty. I think there's just less of a societal pressure to like it, because Rick and Morty is this like fucking cult phenomenon and people love it so much. And I like it. It's okay, but it's not my favorite. And Solar Opposites just feels a little bit different to me, and it's like really funny.
It's animated? Where are you finding all this animated shit?
Solar Opposites is on Hulu.
Okay.
And Invincible is on Amazon Prime.
All right.
Other just like random shit that I'll tell you that I've watched episodes of over the last handful of weeks is The Curse of Oak Island. Like now I'm into this whole treasure hunting kind of
saw that.
Yeah, ancient like treasures buried. I don't know. I'm having a moment with that kind of a thing.
That's like that hole with all the booby traps and the filling and
It's really crazy, actually, of a story. It's like there's so many different things that could be happening. Anyway, I just recommend it if you're into that kind of shit.
I love that shit.
Weird treasure hunting, white guy shit.
I just realized I've watched nothing except this movie. And then I started to watch Summer of '85. It's a horror movie. I think that's what it's called. There's a picture.
Summer of '84, I think.
'84, because I thought, I'll just watch it again if Tawny wants to watch it, and then I turned it off. I felt too guilty. I'm like, no.
I started watching it and I fell asleep, but this was a long time ago and I was kind of drunk. So
yeah. I got like not much into it at all. I think it was only like, I don't know, 15 minutes, and then I turned it off. Really only I'm all caught up on that chapter. I've seen all the true crime and all those fools. I love it when I.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I love it when I'm watching that chapter, and then at the end, like when the person gets arrested, I'd be like, "Yeah, bitch." You can't just, I'm like talking to myself, you can't just go around killing people. You can't just do that. Yeah, you thought you'd get away with it. I'm sitting in line waiting to pick up my kid, but people are probably looking at me like, what? But I love it. I love that show. And something, and then I'll be quiet so you could talk, but something really cool that just happened. Her name is Kristin Smart. I don't know if you've heard about this, but like last year, I think it was, I watched this true crime on Kristin Smart, and it was a cold case. They don't know what happens from 1994, I think it was, right? And haven't found who it was. It was just such a good job because there was all this suspicion, and like her parents were so convinced that this one boy did it that they even wanted to buy the house next door to the house. They thought she was buried, so it was like this whole thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, but they never found her. Well, bitch, it's happening right now, so you guys can Google it. Kristin Smart, that motherfucker and his dad. Okay, I think I said this on the last episode. I told my kids I'm not helping. Okay, we've already covered that. But yeah, he helped. We don't know everything, right? Because it's all being uncovered right now. And my husband was like, oh yeah, did you see in the news about, he started kind of talking about it, like, I know the whole damn story. And I was like, they found her? And I was, yeah, so.
Wow, okay. I'm gonna have to look this up. It's so exciting. It is exciting when there's like developments.
Yeah, because screw you. You can't live your life. You can't go about. You can't do that shit and then just live your life. No, you need to go down.
You're gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught.
And I'm gonna protect my son. Sicko. You should have let him go to prison because he's a sicko. And he's, hurt other people since then. So anyway, look it up. Kristin Smart.
Okay. That reminds me of another thing that I did watch last night called Evil Lives Here, I think. Yeah. And, I got that Discovery Plus app, so it's on there, and it's part of the ID channel. Of course, that's like the whole, I think that's what used to be Court TV, and then True TV. I don't know, maybe it's a different channel. Anyway, they do a lot of true crime shit. And it's like this series about like family members of people who are like murderers or who have committed like heinous crimes. I watched 2 episodes of that last night, got totally sucked in, ended up staying up late. And the first one was about a sister who called the cops on her brother who had murdered somebody. And he told her that he did it on accident. So he was like, oh, I need to run. You need to take me out to the woods or whatever. And she did, which is great. I'm like, she went through that whole process, and then she called the cops to tell them because she saw the guy in the paper and they were calling it a suicide. I'm just ruining this entire episode. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, no, that's okay.
I don't think it matters really.
I'm so into it. I'm just like staring at you. What happened?
But she was like, I couldn't bear like those people to think that their son or whoever had committed suicide when I knew that it was like an accidental shooting. And she didn't realize, she just went along with what her brother said. She thought it was an accident and wanted to protect him and stuff, and ended up calling the cops. And then they went and picked him up where he was like hiding out in the woods. This actually was in Aurora, which is like in Colorado, which was such a weird thing. I was like, whoa, okay, weird. Anyway, that was an interesting show that I watched last night. Pretty unsettling. And
I love it. I need to watch that.
This is so dumb. I'm sure, I don't think it's super real. Probably. There's probably a lot of fake shit. Yeah. But I slacked you about it as I watched the Ghost Adventures Cecil Hotel episode. And there was like a never-ending shit, like list of shit that happened that I felt like was proof and really crazy. And it was so unsettling. Like, I usually don't get that creeped out by these like ghost shows. Like, and this one pretty significantly creeped me out. It was the first half of it was all dedicated to Elisa Lam, and then the second half of the episode was all dedicated to the rest of the murders and suicides and all kinds of shit that's happened there. It was really creepy.
What is it called again?
Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures. And what is that on?
That I also watched on Discovery Plus. So
Discovery Plus. Okay, I'm gonna have to get that channel. It sounds like
I think you're gonna like it. I think there's gonna be a lot of shit that I honestly watch that more than I do anything else right now, like Netflix or Hulu or whatever.
Oh shoot, I gotta look at that. You know, my kiddos, they're in criminal justice in both of them in high school. And God, I wish I would have been able to do that in high school. We didn't have cool shit like that when I was in high school. We just had like band and theater and class. But they're in criminal justice, and they watch Forensic Files. Oh, I would have loved that class. And my oldest daughter was like, yes, I'm doing this project. There was this guy, and she starts just talking about it. And I'm like, I know the whole story. This happened, this happened. She's like, yeah, and then this. And she's like, and how stupid. I'm like, idiot. And we're just like talking about it. Because when I used to travel, I used to just play Forensic Files. Yeah. I repeat myself, but that's okay.
Traveling is Forensic Files is the traveling thing. That's why I knew that.
Yeah.
It's because it's the only thing on ever.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's a pop culture reference.
You are, no matter where I am in the country, if I turn on this one channel that I forget what it is, it's Forensic Files all the way until I fall asleep.
And then it's infomercials.
And then it's infomercials, exactly.
Wake up every once in a while and you're like watching the Magic Bullet infomercial or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I think that's it. I think that's it for me. Oh, no. I lied. One more shout out. One more. Because Homies of Horror was on our episode, right? We did our episode with them on Cabin Fever. And then they we were talking to them about streaming and stuff and how they go on every Monday. And so I went online to watch them do it on my TV on Twitch, because I have the Twitch app on my, Fire Stick or whatever. And it was like so official to watch them be on there. I was like trying to send them a message, but I was doing it on my remote. So it took me for fucking ever, because I was just like, hey, you guys are on my TV or whatever. And then later they were like, oh yeah. They were like responded to me. They were like, hey, Tawny, what's up? Thanks for being here. They were like, yeah, it's really hard to be on the TV though, because when you want to send a message, you can't. And I just was like, yes, exclamation point, exclamation point. Anyway, it was really cool. And then, so they talk about like the episode, just like they said, and then they get into playing. And it was just really fun. And I liked it. And so I just wanted to give a shout out. If you like that kind of thing, go check them out on Twitch.
That's awesome. Definitely check them out. They're super cool people. I
love
love talking to them.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, this Sunday, Formula One. 7 a.m.
Update.
Update.
Hell no, I'll be sleeping in.
I watched the Formula One race. I had already done that, right? I don't remember what's happening, but we woke up at 6 a.m. and watched it. It was kind of cool to watch it live after watching that show, and be like, cheering on our people. Shut up, Felicia. What's wrong with you? Okay, we're talking about The Dark and the Wicked. It was made in 2020, and it's a horror movie. The director was Bryan Bertino, who made The Strangers. The budget was $13 million, and the box office was $422,000.
Oh, ouch.
Very ouch.
That COVID.
Ouch.
Yeah. That COVID box office.
Very ouch. It was supposed to have its premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival, but then that was canceled.
That
2020.
Sucks.
Yes, that's a very big ouch. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 92%, and then the rating average is, IMDb, all that stuff, 6.1 out of 10. The cast, Louise, played by Marin Ireland. Michael was played by Michael Abbott Jr., which was her brother. Mother was played by Julie Oliver Touchstone. And it made me think, is she like related to Touchstone Pictures? But David, who was the father, was Michael Zaxt. The nurse was Lynn Andrews. Charlie, the friend, was Tom Nowicki. The priest was Xander Berkeley, and that young creepy girl was Ella Ballantyne.
Okay.
Are we getting 2 minutes with Tawny?
You are and you're not, because I went to the Wikipedia because sometimes I use that as a guide just to help me make sure I don't fuck stuff up and I know people's names and whatever. But I went there and I read it, and it's literally 2 paragraphs, and I was like, I'm just going to copy and paste this, because most of the time when you go and you read, it's way too long. That's why I started writing it, because I was like, I don't want to fucking read a 10-minute thing. Like, I just want to get through it. So this was short enough that I was just like, I'm going to copy and paste.
I keep laughing because when I went to do research, IMDb, there was 3 sentences. And then I go to Wikipedia and I really dug to, so we'll get into it.
Okay. Yeah, so I did not write this. Okay. Luis and Michael are distant siblings who are brought back to the family farm in Texas when their father's illness, which keeps him bedridden and uncommunicative, cared for by his wife and a nurse, worsens. Their mother seems disturbed and expresses a desire for the children to leave. At night, she hangs herself in the barn after cutting off her own fingers in the kitchen. As time goes on, Luis and Michael start to understand what happened to their mother. The nurse confides in them that she heard her whispering to the father, but it seems as if she was not speaking to him, but some other presence. Michael finds their mother's diary, which describes her fears of an unnamed presence trying to take the soul of her husband. The presence makes itself known to the siblings in increasingly terrifying and deadly ways, ultimately pushing Michael to suicide after he flees the house without Luis. Luis, traumatized by repeated interactions with the demonic presence, including the suicide of the nurse, remains with her father at the farm. As he dies, he is possessed by the presence, which in turn attacks Luis shortly after.
Okay, thank you. That is what happened. How'd you feel about this movie? Or what'd you think?
I really, really, really liked this.
Holy shit.
I was like, thank God. This is what I wanted. I've been wanting a scary, scary movie. And I feel like that is what was delivered to me. And I was very happy about it. I even woke up in the middle of the night last night after watching it and was like scared. Like I was like,
wow,
oh no. You know, like I like woke up and I couldn't stop thinking about the movie and like moments in the movie, and I was having that type of a night. Like I was like, no. And the atmosphere is so scary and also slow burn, very simple. It felt I can't remember who said this, but it was in one of those Eli Roth's History of Horror. I think it might have been Michael Dougherty, if I'm remembering correctly. But they said the best type of horror movie is the type that feels dangerous just by having watched it. And I felt like that is how I walked away from this. And it was great. That's where I'm at. How did you feel?
Very nice. I did not like this movie at all. I didn't like it. I was so disappointed in this movie.
I'm so shocked.
I'm
why. Shocked.
I liked 3 things about this movie. I did like I liked the atmosphere and the dread. And then I felt like it was literally this, that dreadful feeling always, which is fine. And I did like elements that I thought was creepy. I thought it started off really well, actually. And then it morphed into smoking on the porch, smoking on the porch, smoking on the porch. Then scary dead person. Oh. Scary old person. Oh. Smoking on the porch, smoking on. I was just like, fuck, please. And then I was left at the end with like, what? Why? Like, why does the devil want this old guy? Why? Just lots of whys. The phone's ringing again, screaming, phone ringing, weird old person. I felt it started off, I was on the edge of my seat, like waiting for it. Thought it was beautiful in the beginning. Beautiful, like creepy, beautiful. Just the whole, like, just everything. The scene, the set, the mom being weird. She's cutting off her fingers, and she hung herself, that was all great.
And then it took a dive.
And then it just took a dive for me. I was just, smoking on the porch, scary old person, and then waiting. And yeah, I really didn't like it at all.
Interesting. I thought you were really going to like it. I thought
I wish.
it didn't even enter my mind as a possibility that you were not going to like this. I thought we were going to sit down and be like, we both love that movie. Like I just thought for
wish.
sure, which it's fine that you didn't.
You know what's funny? I thought for sure that you might not like it. I thought the
Really?
opposite. Yeah, because it just
Weird.
I didn't feel like a slow burn. Like I've been in movies where I'm just like, my heart is full of anxiety. Like I'm so nervous. And this one I'm just, I didn't feel it. But then I remembered you liked that cabin movie in the Christmas movie. And then I thought, oh, maybe she'll like this.
Oh, yeah. The Lodge.
The Lodge. And so then I thought maybe, because I had that same where I really liked that dark, like, oh God, what's going to happen sort of atmosphere. I mean, The Lodge, I think I liked it more, but yeah.
Interesting. It was very, it did remind me of The Lodge in its atmosphere, because I do love dread. That's becoming very clear to me. I love that atmosphere, and I do feel like they used it. But then I liked how, there were these pointed, very scary moments. It spaced it out enough for me, where the scary moments were really scary. That's not to say that I liked all of it. I definitely had a few things that I didn't love, and I wish they would have, like, maybe pulled back just a tad, because it, like, went a little bit too far. But I liked the subtlety of this movie overall. Like, it's just people out at a cabin, like, and it's just, like, isolated, scary, and I liked that part. So
yeah, I felt like, I don't know, like there was something missing for me. Like, why? What's the point of this? So is the story you're telling me is the devil can just fuck with whoever they want, whenever they want, for no reason. And he wants this old guy so bad. Why? We don't know. And so he's going to fuck with everybody else. Why? Like, and I guess that could be scary if I'm like, oh wow, that could happen to me. But I didn't have that connection at all. Like, I'm more scared of the freaking lady in The Grudge, and I'm not going to her house. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it was just really hard. I can say though, and then I'll let you talk because you really, really loved it, or you really liked it. I liked the look and feel of it. I did like that. Yeah, it's just like, we're smoking, we're in the kitchen, we're with the goats. We're smoking with the old person. Smoking, kitchen, goats. That's how I felt. Like, in the beginning, I thought, like, oh, the dad, when he was in the shower, or like when she opened the shower and he was there, and that scared me. I think I actually screamed. When the mom hung herself, when she cut up her fingers. Oh, that was all beautiful. She started cutting up her fingers, and then the next morning with the blood, and they're looking for the mom. That was all fantastic. I loved the devil face in the opening scene in the goats.
Yeah, totally.
That was fucking awesome. I had to rewind it to see it again. And I felt like everything was going really well until I can remember a very specific point when Michael was in the barn and the mom was walking towards him. I was just like I was just like kind of rolling my eyes, and then she, of course, because I knew she'll be gone, and then they'll go about their day doing something else. But my favorite part of the whole movie was the scene with Michael when he killed himself and then realized his family wasn't dead. That was fucking awesome. It's almost like the whole movie should have been around that concept, and it was, except it wasn't, in the sense of, for me, that was so poignant because he thinks the evil force caused his wife to kill her and the children. And so then he can't live and he kills himself and then realizes, not fucking with you. That was fucking brilliant. Versus the old guy who was the friend who killed himself because she was cutting herself. That was gross. That visual of her cutting herself was nasty, but it wasn't like as poignant of, I'm going to kill myself. Even the mom. So I understand they killed themselves because they didn't want that devil fucking with their mind anymore. I just thought the one with the brother was like, fucking great. Like, maybe if there was more of that type of shit. Maybe if there's a whole movie about the devil goes into people and fucks with them, like, I don't know, all over the city or something, and makes them see things that make them kill themselves. But Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I loved that scene of him leaving. And also, the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, is this what I'm witnessing? Like, again, you don't normally see, like, children with their, like, necks slit open. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. And then it ended up being not real, but I was like, wow, this is so unsettling and gory. And, like,
Yeah.
it also reminded me a lot of The Strangers, even though the concept of the two movies are very different, because one is so much more just people focused, like rooted in reality in that way. And this movie is very much like supernatural-y.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that it had the same vibe. Like, I definitely was like, I'm definitely getting a Strangers vibe from this because of this slow, dreadful, hopeless atmosphere. And so that's one of the things that I liked about it. In that same way, that scene was terrible and heartbreaking. And this, whatever it is, this evil is fucking inevitable. There is absolutely, it felt like there was nothing that anybody could do. And even, he tried to run away. And I feel like he died first because he ran away. I think there was something there within this movie about, there was a message about loneliness. And like, they talked about, they said it pretty explicitly where she was like, oh yeah, there's a, love to protect his soul or whatever. I think it was the nurse who said something like that.
Yeah, it was the nurse.
And so he fucking pieces out like a selfish asshole.
Oh, I would have been out of there.
I'm not saying like, yeah, you would, like, it's a scary situation, but it was fucked up that he left her and didn't say anything.
Oh yeah, I agree.
That is so, I was like pissed about it. I was like, what an asshole.
I kind of get it, but I think they were all like, come the fuck on. Wrap that motherfucker up. Drag him into your truck. Don't even give me no bullshit about, we can't move him though, he'll die. He's dying. The doctor said he's dying. If we move him, he'll die. Okay, we need to get out of there. Let's like each hoist the blanket, put him in the truck, and get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? It is shitty he didn't tell her he was leaving. I get why he left though. Like, I totally get it. And I let my kids know, dude, if that shit's going on, leave me. I'm already dying. I don't want the devil fucking with you. Just let him take
you
me.
Can go. You have a pass.
Go. Please, you have a pass. You do not need to stay and experience that. And then he like, I guess, was overtaken by the devil, and then he bit her and killed her or whatever in the end.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I had a problem with. I don't know. That one I felt like was, okay, what is happening? Like, I felt like, okay, she's staying there to protect his soul, and while he's still alive, she's protected. So they're sort of protecting each other. And that's why at the very end she says, please don't leave me. Because I think she knows, once he goes, I'm fucked. And so, but then I felt like that was undermined by him taking over his body. And then I was like, okay, now what? Like, I wish they would have just cut and we like heard her scream. I know that's like really cliche. That happens a lot in other movies, but I think it would have made more sense for her to get killed by this demon thing, not through him. Because again, I don't know if this was the intent, and maybe I'm like reading into this more than I should be, but I felt like she protected him because she stayed with him. And then he died, and then he's gone. So his soul can't be taken over, presumably. But now she's left alone. And no one is there to protect her, and so she could be killed by this thing. But why did it have to possess his body? I didn't like that. It felt confused to me. So I wish it would have just ended, and we could just make up in our head how he, like, came to be in reality. Like, he seemed to, like, manifest himself as, like, a being a few other times. So why couldn't that happen now? I don't know.
Yeah, I see it like, okay, so for Strangers...
And then it felt like, I'm sorry to interrupt you again,
no.
But I really didn't like I really don't like that last jump scare bullshit. It's just not my fave. I don't like when they just come in right at the end, like, ugh.
Yeah,
well.
yes.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
As you all know, like, I had that's a good example for me. I know that you didn't have the same feeling, but like The Strangers was that slow burn for me. That fucking dread that I love. My heart hurt. There was that little bit of hope. Like, you don't, not obviously the 13th time I've seen it, but the first time, like, maybe they'll get away. I don't know, but it seems like they're really in a shitty situation. And that just that, like, that dread and slow burn and anxiety, I love that. I guess I didn't feel it in this, and maybe it's because visually I liked it, and I liked the idea. I like possession ideas. Maybe that's the thing, like you had mentioned, he left and so he died first. He's going to die later. He's going to die. Like, even, like, I like that idea of love will protect. And so she was with him, protecting him, but he died and then she's screwed. And even if her brother was there, they're both going to be screwed. They're like, they're not going to, like, when are they, then what?
Yeah,
Is the devil going to be like, oh, cool, you stay with your dad? Good job, guys. That was my test. You know what I mean? Like, because what about that poor old guy? That poor old guy that just, helped him with the sheep.
Yeah, I don't know. I did wonder if it was something to do with, like, familial love. Because the nurse is fucked. Like, she's there. But she doesn't seem to count, right? Like, for whatever reason. And so, again, I don't know. I could be, like, reading way more into this. But I wondered if he had stayed there, if they would have... Maybe. But, again, what I like about this movie is that whatever is happening here... I like that they never explain it. I get what you're saying, like you kind of want to know why he wants his soul in particular, but I think they do sort of hint because he was a good man. I don't think there's I think the thing is like these are just average ass people. They're just like whatever. And this guy was a good guy. And that's why this like demon or devil or whatever wants his soul is because he was good. And I think that's enough of a reason for me. Because that's what then makes it scary. Is this isn't like a extraordinary circumstance. Just for whatever fucking reason, these people are being terrorized, and there is like nothing that anybody can do. And so I liked that because they do this a lot in movies where it's like, oh, there's this demon. Now we're gonna go do research. And we're gonna figure out what the demon is and what he's doing, and so that we can protect ourselves. None of that happened, and I was glad about it. It felt refreshing to me. I was like, thank God we don't have a library research scene where they figure out what's going on. I liked that it just felt so unstoppable and random. Like, it was like, oh shit, I think that's what was really at the heart of it, scary for me. I was like, fuck. Ugh. Can this happen to me randomly? Just fucking...
That's interesting. So... Because I agree with you on that level, that's why I liked things like Veronica. Because that makes me scared when I see shit like that. Because I think to myself, okay, is this like really a possibility? Is this really a possibility, or this family's just fucking nuts? Like, that's scary. Where this one I felt like because there was nothing, I don't know if I'm making sense. I feel like because I'm glad there wasn't a library scene, but because there was like nothing, there was like no purpose. Even it could randomly happen to anyone, like I had mentioned earlier, didn't scare me. Didn't make me feel like, oh, it could happen to me. Where something like that is like, oh no, these fucking beings are around and it happens and it's happened before, and even like, sometimes this happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the priest's like, sometimes it happens. It happened before.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh shit, okay, this happens.
Well, that priest guy was all, not
Weird.
real.
Yeah.
He was like...
he wasn't even real. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just there, which was very obvious to me from the very... I was like, this guy is way over the fucking top as a priest. That was one of the things I didn't like. Like, just a few times, I wish actually that they had dialed it back a little bit. Like, I didn't need the priest to be as over the top as he was. Just a little. I'm just such a fan of subtlety. It's funny. I'm like one extreme or the other. Either way over the top or like really subtle, I think is where I live. And so I just needed them to take him down. Like, I knew from the moment he was there. I was like, this is a creepy motherfucker. This guy is not right. This is not a way a priest acts or talks or whatever. It was like this guy's big break. It was like his first role. And so he got to show off his acting chops. And I was like, no. Like, turn it down. But I did wonder, and one of the questions that I have for you, because I didn't understand this, but I felt like there was something there, was the whole priest thing with Luis and calling him, and he was like, oh, I wasn't there. duh, we know from, our thespian father over here. But then he's like, oh, what is this, a joke? Like, I had a daughter named Louise and she committed suicide or whatever, right? She sounds just like you. And that was like, I was like, wait a minute. Is this his daughter or something? Like, did their mom go and have that was the only thing that I could kind of figure. I mean, I had like a few things running through my head, but I was like, did she go off and have an affair or something with this guy somewhere else? Because he's never been to the farm. And then he gave birth to her. But then why would he even know her? She doesn't seem to know who he is. That was
why would you introduce that late? Like, is that why the devil is coming after them? Because she's a
That was my question. Well, yeah, there was like something there, right? Where it was like, well, maybe it wasn't even just, maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was like this priest somehow brought this on this family that he doesn't even know. I don't know. I didn't know what the like connection there was, but that was the one nugget that I felt like, I feel like they're trying to tell me something and I just am not picking up what it is.
I searched a lot of different things to try to find, because like I said, on the Wikipedia and IMDb, there's like 2 things written there. And I didn't see anything talked to about that. I wondered that too when he said that. Okay, so it's not the priest. Okay. We kind of get that the devil is appearing as things that aren't really there.
Yeah, it seems like
that whole thing about, like, is this a joke? I was like, wait. And then I got a little excited. I'm like, oh, we have another human being. Like, what's going on? I'm going to get some purpose. And then, it just kind of went away unless we were supposed to pick up on that.
Yeah, it felt like we were supposed to get something out of that I didn't get. And I maybe not. But it did make me think, oh, there's some sort of connection there. And it seems like this entity, whatever it is, can mimic things that it's like come into contact with. Maybe not. Maybe it can be things that people haven't even seen before. But the fact that it comes to the guy in the their friend Charlie as the daughter is interesting, because it's like after they arrive, the kids, and then the priest guy, like we don't see the original real priest guy, but maybe this demon has been in contact with him and he could be unrelated. I don't know.
So there is a lot. Okay, so there's this thing called signalhorizon.com, which is talking about this movie. Because there was something I read, was it like Ebert's review or something, where they said that the father, there was something mentioned about the father being estranged from his children. So not that he was a good man, but something about him being estranged maybe was why the devil came, but not sure. And then in this thing, it says, whether the devil came from hell or deep-rooted guilt remains to be seen. Everyone has something to feel guilty about. Their mother's guilt was no doubt linked to regret she wasn't closer to her children and shame for unseen behavior during their childhood. I didn't pick up on that, but I know they were estranged, but I didn't pick up something from the childhood. But the siblings feel bad about abandoning their mother, and Michael regrets ignoring his wife so much. And then he's also very ashamed that he leaves Louise behind.
Okay.
Yeah, and the kids don't really want to be there. You know, they're kind of just serving a purpose. You definitely get that. Says something here. The presence possibly lived in the father for decades and spoke to their mother, and seems to possess whole portions of the town occasionally. It's really just, I don't know.
Yeah, unresolved. I wish.
Yeah, just like something. I just want a nugget. You don't have to have a library scene.
Yeah,
but
like
maybe.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I hear what you're saying. You don't have to explain it all. Just a little something.
We don't have to see ancient artwork of the thing, you know. Just
yeah,
like,
they always do that. They always do that in the book.
just something more. Just like something a little bit more. And why? I mean, unless they brought that in and we were supposed to think that she had an affair, told him, but no, because how would he say you sound like her?
Right.
You're right. Yeah, he wouldn't know.
But then her reaction was very weird. Like, she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And it was like, well, what is she picking up on necessarily that we are not, I don't know. It was very weird. That was the one, I was so fucking lost about that.
Yeah, I wish there was some, if anybody knows.
It's like, is the devil demon thing pretending to be her for like this priest guy for his whole life?
Yeah.
Is this the long con? Are they not even related? And the devil was like, you know what? I know from the future, which I think demons can know the future or something.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know why not.
I don't know. I heard something once about like they can tell what you have in your pocket or something. Like, I don't know. Fucking hoof. I don't even know. That's creepy. Such a specific thing. I don't know where I heard that.
You know what's in my pocket? Get out of here.
Ew.
Ew.
Possess me if you must, but look in my pockets, no.
Yeah.
But she's like, I don't know. It was weird. It just seemed like there was connections. It didn't seem to be that random. So for this, like,
everything I read there, I didn't see anything about that. So I totally forgot about that. But you're right.
Yeah.
This was definitely the priest because it was the phone number.
Yeah.
And she asked for him and it was him. But he's like, but I don't know who you are. So why this priest? Why this priest?
Right.
That lost his daughter Louise. Is it just more of the devil going, fucking with ya? I'm fucking with ya. And so I even said like, the fact that, oh, the devil can do this to anybody should be scary, but didn't scare me. But then I just want, if the devil's out there, like, it would be scary, okay? Like, you don't have to prove me wrong. It would be scary. I just think you should take it up with the filmmakers that maybe they could have portrayed it a little bit better.
I also really liked, I'm going to go back to this scene with Charlie. This is probably one of my favorite scenes. When Luis is in there with the knife. It was one of the most unsettling things I've seen in a very long time because of the like backwards. It seems like it's like footage of her played backwards, but she's doing stuff in a linear fashion. Like she's doing stuff because she's stabbing herself.
Oh, it was so creepy. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about, when she's slicing herself.
Yeah.
It was so bizarrely unsettling. I was staring at it like...
Yeah, I think it's because she's stabbing herself in a linear fashion. Like, we're seeing her stab.
Yeah, like this.
And there's like a new wound when she does that, right? So that's not reverse. But her motion is in reverse. It's like they reversed it. Oh. And she's speaking in reverse, too. Like... And it was so fucking unsettling. I really liked this scene. It was one of my favorite things. This is one of the things that really creeped me out. And I thought of it when I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, no. And I wish they would have done more stuff like this. Like, when you see the dad and she opens up the shower curtain, I liked that scare and I liked him standing there. But then he had to go and do the Jacob's Ladder shaky head thing. And I was like, oh, too far. Dial it back. Take it down. Those moments just needed to be, for me, I didn't ruin the movie by any means, but it just was like, there was a few moments that I really wish, if they had dialed it back, it would have been perfect to me. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that scene was fucking top notch.
I love that scene. Yeah. And then they did and that fast movement creeps me out, but you're right. They didn't need it.
I'm just over it. It's like in every fucking movie since Jacob's Ladder. So I'm over it. Do something new.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one like that for me was when they see the mom out. He sees the mom outside floating. I was like, but why floating? I don't know. That one I could overlook because it was just unsettling enough that I was like, okay. But it felt a little too fantastical to me. So that's why later when she's like in the barn, I think it's later, and she's just walking.
It is later. Yeah.
I like shit like that. It's way more subtle. She's just walking. She's just standing in the back. You just see like figures back behind people. Like I love shit like that. That's great. But floating, you start to lose me just a little bit.
Yeah. And I think that one where she was there and walking was only because they had already done this scary dead person so many times that I didn't really think she was going to do anything. And then she was going to be gone, which is exactly what happened. So, and honestly, when the nurse started stabbing herself, okay, it's gross. I literally went, oh God, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm such a, it was gross, but I was like, why? What?
Yeah.
And then she stabs at her eyes and she's like, Jesus, Jesus. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Weird.
Unless she's like, she realizes she's being taken over, so she's calling on Jesus, or if it's the devil mocking Jesus. I don't know. And then she was done. I don't know.
Yeah. I get that there was a lot of this. There was a lot of this. Why don't you just load them up in the truck? What is happening with this lady? Why is everybody dying? What started this meeting? Why so many goats?
Why so many goats?
What's happening with all these goats? I definitely wondered that. Yeah.
And I get the idea of it being completely random and senseless is scary. Maybe, because I think of even with true crime, what's the first thing we want to know? Why?
Yeah.
There's like a shooting. Why? Was there a manifesto? Was there this? Was there that? Like, why? And there's kind of that hunger for that. And when you don't know why, it's just like really unsatisfying. And
unsettling.
I hate saying unsettling. The reason I said unsatisfying, because when I said unsettling, it should be, I guess maybe there's something wrong with me, because it should be unsettling that there's nothing you could put your finger on, but it's not unsettling to me. It's more like there is a reason, we just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And that's
I get
irritating. We don't know what it is. Like,
yeah.
We need to find out what the fuck it is. Does that make sense?
I think that's very well said, yeah. Because
okay.
I was going to say the same thing happens in The Strangers, is they say, why us or something, right? And they say, because you were home. And it's just that. It's like, there's literally you weren't targeted specifically. There's no reason. There's no rhyme for it. And so it's interesting that you love that there in that movie. And in this movie, you have the same setup. However, this is more supernatural. The perpetrator is not a real person. But I think you just hit the nail on the head. I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I think you're right. There does feel like there is a reason. We just are not quite clear on what it is.
Yes. Because The Strangers, there is a reason. It's because they were home. Because those people wanted to kill people. I get that. Like, they're deranged and they want to commit murder, and there's people that want to do that. Like, I hear true crime stories like that all the time. They'd be like,
yeah, but like, does a demon or a devil?
Yeah, maybe the demon. Yeah, that's
need
true.
Any? I mean,
maybe they just want to fuck with people. You're right. Maybe they just want to fuck. What is it about that? Like, I'm trying to do some life coaching on me. Like, why is it okay for like a human to be like, we just wanted to kill people, which I'm not saying I understand because I want to do it. I've seen enough true crime where is people that just like this power trip off of, we want to do this for some weird reason. And they were home, unfortunately, and they got killed. And I understand that. And then it also lends you to believe that probably these three, there's something more in their background, more in you know nothing about them. Maybe they are all related and came from an abused family. Maybe you don't know, but there's something that fucked them up. The devil, I guess, maybe I have an issue with it because. Okay, I'm just gonna spitball what's in my mind without trying to edit it. I see the devil as immensely powerful. I don't believe in the devil, but unless you're there, just please don't fuck with me. But I'm just saying, like, God, devil, all this, like, so powerful. Why is he just fucking around with, these people? Now, like, he's just, I don't know, that playful. I see it as playful. If he's literally just fucking around with these people's minds, these random people out in the middle of nowhere, just kind of fucking around, and then he's like gonna go, grab some dinner and whatever afterwards. Versus there was something that invited it in. Now, maybe there was something that invited this in based on their relationships and stuff. But then on that end, for me, it wasn't solid enough. Like if it was based on them all being evil because they're all estranged, or the devil feeds on loneliness or lonely souls when they're about to die. Okay, so if the devil feeds love,
I also wondered if it was like a sick thing. Like there's like something to do with the sickness that he is. Keep going though, sorry.
No, not at all. If the devil feeds on, I think I read this somewhere as a possibility that the devil, it seems, likes lonely souls because they make that. And so when they're about to die, if they're all alone, he moves in and takes them. That's scary and that's depressing. But then he wasn't alone. Like, yeah. I feel like she truly, despite how terrifying this was, she's like, I'm not leaving you. Mm-hmm. And he died, okay, and so the devil still got him, even though she was there, okay, so that wasn't it. And then he gets her. She's not about to die. I mean, she is, because the devil's there, but she's not on her last breath. You see what I mean? Like, there was too many things that made me feel like, what?
I get you. It does seem like it's this movie specifically, because the idea of this seems to be scary for you, right? Like, the idea. And I do think, for me, it's not like I didn't read it at all like he's like fucking with them, like it's fun and playful. Like what I got out of it was like a corruption of souls. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's always how it's kind of positioned in these movies, is like, it's like a slow takeover where you're like making somebody more and more mentally weak so that they can be possessed and can be taken over. So all of what's happening is not so much playful as it is corruption. Like it's like a ploy at corruption. And that is what these, negative, demonic devil entities do, is corrupt souls. Like that's the fucking game.
So then that's a good point. That's why the nurse screamed for Jesus. Because he wasn't able to fully corrupt her soul. She killed herself, but at the end, so then you can almost see that as like she was fighting what was taking over her. And that's pretty cool, because at first when I saw it, I thought he was doing it. The devil being he was being like Jesus or saying something about it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. I read it as she was trying to resist as much as she could. And she was calling out, because she does say like, Jesus, I can feel you with me, like, or something to that effect. Yeah. And so who knows? I mean, I get what you're saying though. And that's the heart of it, is just that this movie, it straddles a line. It doesn't actually go so far as to make you feel like it's so random. I mean, I don't know. That's what I got out of it, and that's why I think it's scary. But I get what you're saying. Like, there are these few breadcrumbs that feel like we're supposed to pick up on as an audience, that's supposed to lead us to a reason why. And then it does make it feel like there is a reason, we just don't know what it is. And that is frustrating as an audience member, because you're like, I missed it. What is it?
Even if it's just that one thing, like the devil likes lonely souls that are about to die, because then that makes you think of just all reality and all of the different people that are alone when they die, and how now that's fucking terrifying. People, because you hear about this a lot in nursing homes, whose families just kind of don't even see them anymore. So if you think about it on that level, that is terrifying idea that the devil or an evil entity takes advantage of those people, despite the fact that they were good people. Like this guy was supposedly a good man. Doesn't matter if he's alone on his deathbed and it's all the kids' faults for not being around, or I think that's really powerful. Yeah. But I don't feel like I fully got that. Yeah. Because there wasn't a lot on the typical things. Usually IMDb is just pages of stuff, and same thing with Wikipedia. I really had to search, and it was really just people kind of writing posts about either just a recap of the movie, like a 2 minutes with Tawny, all of that. And there was a lot of, it could be, maybe not. I could say Ebert. I always forget his first name.
Roger Ebert.
The famous critic guy. Yeah, Roger Ebert. he felt the same way. He thought it opened really, really beautifully, and then kind of there was a lot of stuff like, and then supposedly, but we're not sure, and then it looks like this, but we're not sure. And as far as trivia, there wasn't anything. I already told you about the Tribeca Film Festival. The only other thing, which is, an interesting or fun fact, is that it was filmed at the director's family farm.
Ugh.
Yeah, get rid of that piece of land, right? Let's just like sell that.
Oh, I wonder if they built like a set on it though.
I didn't go that far. That's a good question. Because creepy. I would never want to be in that house again.
I know.
I would. That's just creepy all around.
Just the whole thing was very scary. The structures and it was really creeping me out. Like, I would hate to live in that.
I mean, but seriously, I would have wrapped my dad up and put him in the truck. It would have been hard because he would have been dead weight,
That's what Jade was saying too. He was
me
like,
and my brother, maybe like just under the sheet, like hoist it, and like even if we had to drag him a little bit, like I'm just saying, we got to get out of there. I wouldn't stay.
Yeah, I don't think it would have made a difference though. I think they were fucked either way.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, it was worth it was worth a shot. Jade was like,
worth a shot.
These are some country people. Why don't they just put him in the truck and go? Like,
yeah,
I don't understand, and I think that's a good point. Obviously, it's one of those movie things where it's like, okay, well, they did it.
Then what? Know. Like, what are we going to do with, maybe it would have had to been a car accident.
They had to keep that budget down to 13 mil.
What was it that they're driving with Charlie and they stop and he said, she's been bringing him out here for years. And they go and look at something and I couldn't tell what it was.
I think it was a cemetery for either pets or the goats.
Oh, okay. She's bringing the goats up there and burying them. Okay.
It seemed like, but they didn't have any pets or dogs or anything that we saw that I remember. So I guess it makes sense that it was goats. Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of unanswered questions. But that
guy was real dedicated to the goats. After all that shit, and then there was the goat that had the baby, and he's like, I'm not going to leave him alone.
I know, I thought that was weird, too.
It was cute. I liked seeing that little baby goat. That was cute. But come on. Like, we're going to leave the goats alone. I'm sorry.
Here's another. Just bring the goats inside. Yep.
Yeah. Bring the goat in the house.
Jade was also like, this is a great time to be surrounded by cute little baby goats. You should just bring them inside.
Yes. Bring them inside. That's perfect.
I liked that I couldn't tell what was real. I liked that about this movie.
Yes. I'll have to say I liked that too. That's why I loved that scene with the brother.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was just such a superb scene.
It was. And I started to even question, like, is this nurse lady even real? Like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I thought the main actress did really good at being terrified. She looked terrified.
Yeah, I feel like the acting was pretty good. The only person that I have a bone to pick with is Father Thespian.
Yeah. You know what? And I'm sorry, I'm just not even going to be sleeping with my dad if in the middle of the night he woke up and put lipstick all over my face. Like, that's just fucking scary shit. And
that was very unsettling.
Yeah. It was very unsettling, and I wouldn't sleep with him again. Sorry. I would sleep in the other room with my brother or something.
Yeah.
What, in case he dies? Like, I'm not trying to be cold. It's scary shit that I'm sleeping. And then my father, who doesn't move because he's dying, gets up in the middle of the night and draws on my face with lipstick. Gross. I'm like, not sleeping with him.
Gross. Oh, and then there's that moment that actually did remind me of when she wakes up in the middle of the night and he's on the ceiling looking down at her and he goes like, run or something. He goes like, run. And I was like, is this him or is this the demon thing? Like, I just liked that I felt very unsure all the time about like, is this real or is it not real?
Yeah, that was creepy.
Is he trying to actually communicate to her like, I'm fucked, I'm dead, just go, leave me? Or is it the demon trying to separate? It did seem like the demon's whole goal was to like isolate and like kill these people. I don't know. So many questions. So that kind of sucks that there wasn't much on it. Because sometimes when I feel that way about a movie, I like to go and read what other people say just to kind of formulate like a better, like, oh, that makes sense. That they could have been this or an allegory for that or whatever. And I was hoping there was more of that, but
I'm sorry there wasn't. I really did search for other things.
Don't have goats. That's what I got out of this. Don't have goats. Don't abandon your family.
First of all, don't have goats because they're a lot of fucking work.
Yeah. Apparently they breed like crazy. No, I don't. I think that was just for this movie.
A chunk of the movie was just them moving these goats around. So don't have goats.
Don't have goats.
I mean, maybe that has something to do with, I don't know. I didn't read anything about it. I'm really stretching it, but a lot of religions sacrifice goats or lambs. Like it killed all those goats. Like,
aren't goats supposed to be though like
gross?
A devil, like an incarnation of the devil or whatever?
He does have those hooves, feet.
But then why do they all die?
Yeah, I don't think the goats were evil. Well, actually, if we're really going to go there, the goats are not not evil. The hooved being that is the devil that you typically think about was Pan, and he was like, the king or whatever of nature in pagan religions, and the new Christian religions wanted to make that evil because they wanted to bring out, I'm really hacking it up, but this is in a nutshell. This is bourbon history explained. They made Pan, who just played a flute, little fairies were going around, Green Man, evil, and that is where the whole depiction of the devil with the goated, the man body and the goat feet, the hooved feet came from.
Okay, because nature's bad.
No, because pagans are bad.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that. The Christians back then thought that, and so they tried to, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
They made all paganism bad.
Yeah.
Heathens, right? Made them all heathens. And
no, but that's what I'm saying is like they, a lot of that is shunned, right? From that perspective, it's like...
Oh, from that perspective, so maybe they are saying like the goats. But the goats were so sweet. And then the one goat that gave life, why even highlight that with the sweet little goat?
I don't know.
And then he's like, kill it all. It's almost like, yeah, haha, look at how gross this is. And, like why? Just even a little bit of a why. That's what I mean. I don't mean playful. Like, he's not like a nice, like, funny jokester, the devil. It was more like just fucking with them. Look at, I killed all your goats. Isn't that gross? And it was horrible how he was messing with them. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
I do. I totally get what you're saying.
Versus the purpose. Okay, I think everyone's like, we get it, Felicia, shut up.
No, I get it. I think I'm reading it more from a how would this make me feel situation, and it would freak me the fuck out. Like, all those
if it really
goats
happened, I'd be terrified.
Yeah, and so it would corrode my belief, and I'd be like, oh my god, I think it would corrode my belief and my hope, and it would allow my soul to be more corruptible. And that's what's scary, rather than, I think you're looking at it from a demon perspective. Like, you're like, why would I do this? Like, I'm gonna get your ass. Look at how scary I can be.
I am looking at it from the demon perspective. Oh, shit. Exactly. Oh my god, that made me laugh. That's one thing, though, that they talk about is that none of them were religious. And then this being came, and then the mom, started collecting crosses, or someone gave her the crosses. I don't know. She had a bunch of crosses. Right? There was crosses. At first I thought it was a rosary, but then it just looked like a bunch of crosses.
I think it was a bunch of crosses, and actually, it just occurred to me that this priest does say, I started giving them to your mom. Or no, that was the other guy. That was Charlie. Sorry.
Oh, Charlie.
No, but it was the priest. He did say, I've been giving her these or something. But he was the devil. He wasn't there. So, like, maybe that in itself was like a whole trick. Like, it was like...
See, that's creepy. If the devil is, like, giving her these crucifixes to give her hope he's just fucking with her. Do you see? That's my point. He's just like, ha ha ha. She thinks that Jesus is gonna save her, but it's really me.
Yes. Ugh. It's so unsettling to me. It's so funny for us to be like, to read this in such a different way. I don't know. It creeped me out.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad it did. Because that's what we want when we watch a scary movie. We want to be creeped out.
I'm sad you didn't have the same experience. I love being scared. And I like movies that take themselves seriously but are scary. Like this one. You know, like I don't like it when... I mean, sometimes I think movies take themselves too seriously and it's funny and then it stops being scary. I like that, but when it's serious and it's not zany or funny, you know, like again, horror comedy is not really my fave. So this was like a nice refreshing break to me that I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be fucking scared right now, and I am.
That's awesome. I hope I experience that soon.
Me too. We'll have to find something.
We'll have to find something.
This must be a very divisive movie because, like you said, it was like 92% or something on Rotten Tomatoes and like a 6.1 on IMDb. Those are like very different scores.
Yeah, and I think it's exactly what we're talking about. There's people who are very creeped out by it and people who are not, because of from what I gathered from all the stuff I read, it was I think
what is
possible
this?
Could have just like
kind
of ruined it a little bit for us over here with I just want a smidgen of why.
The smidgen of why camp.
And I was hoping Tawny was gonna. She did. You did. You did bring some ideas. I was like, oh, maybe. I wish they would have explored that more.
Yeah.
Well, Tawny, what do you rate this movie?
I'm gonna give it, I think, a 4. Because it's real...
Wow, it's a great score.
I know, it's real high, but I can't... Like I said, I haven't been scared like this in a while. Oh, yeah. I do think the last movie... I want to say The Lodge, but The Lodge didn't like... I liked The Lodge for different reasons, I feel like. It didn't like unsettle me. Yeah, so I think I liked The Lodge more, and I gave The Lodge a 4.5. And there's a lot of movies that I gave a 4 to that are like some of my faves, like the Halloween remake, Rob Zombie's remake, the new Pet Sematary, Krampus. And I like this. I feel like this movie is not as enjoyable. Like all of those movies are like really fun, and I like to rewatch them. I don't know that I'd rewatch this necessarily, but I like that it scared the shit out of me. I love the concept of it. I like how it feels inevitable and scary and like random. All of that really scared me. And so for that is why I'm giving it a 4.
So that was weird because I said, oh, I liked The Lodge more, but the score I'm giving this one is higher than The Lodge. I must have really hated The Lodge at that point.
You really hated The Lodge.
Oh, shit. I think I feel some movies I think maybe I need to go back and watch again because I'm only remembering the parts of The Lodge that I did think were good. And shockers. And so then I thought, oh, I liked The Lodge more. But when I looked at the score, so I'm going to give this movie a 2.9 because I was looking and I liked it more than Sleepy Hollow. And I also liked it more than that movie, Little Monsters. I gave Cabin Fever a 2.9. But I kind of enjoyed Cabin Fever a little bit if you listen to the episode. You know what I mean? There are some definite areas of opportunity. But yeah, I'm going to give it a 2.9.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We're split on that one.
We're split on that one. Doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while.
Sometimes. This is a shocking one. I definitely thought you were going to love this. So.
Oh, God, I wish. I was all alone in the room, too, in my bedroom, because they were out there, and it was pitch black, and it started off, I was like, I'm ready for this.
Yeah. You know what else I think made me feel better about it? Was that I remember watching the trailer and thinking, this is going to be the slowest movie of my goddamn life. Like, I knew it was going to be slow. And so I've kind of been dreading watching it, honestly, because sometimes I have a little bit of impatience when it comes to too slow of a movie. And I went and looked at how long it was. It was an hour and a half. And I was like, oh, okay. So I think just my expectation was like, oh, this is going to fucking drag is how I felt. But it didn't. And so that's why I feel like I could be on board with the long pauses in between and like smoking on the porch and all that. It built the tension.
Smoking on the porch. I thought your 2 minutes of Tawny was going to be just, they were smoking on the porch and then the devil took the dad.
That's it.
That's pretty much what happened. So that was that. We'd love to know what you think. I think there's a lot of people out there that love it. And obviously there's a lot of people that don't because that's the scores that, the ratings. But coming up in May, we're going to do something fun. Well, hopefully. For Mother's Day, we decided to let our moms pick the movies we're going to watch. Okay? I've talked about it before. My mom raised me on scary movies, my mom Diana, and Tawny's mom Elizabeth. They chose some movies for us. Now, I'm going to go with we're going to watch my mom's pick next week, and I kind of wanted to run it by you because my mom chose two. She joked she does like movies that have demented, scary children. So
okay.
The two.
What does that say about you?
Yeah, exactly, right? That's why she raised me. No, she's probably very proud of me if that's what she loves. I'm just kidding. I'm a loving person. So anyways, she picked The Omen and The Bad Seed. So here's the thing. The Omen, that's a classic. We can totally watch that. I immediately, when she said that, wanted to pick the Bad Seed so bad because I watched it as a little kid and it scared me. And it just was, I just remember it in my head. I don't know if I'll like it now. And I wanted to pick it, but my only hesitation is it's black and white. And you hate that.
I give a little cheeky smile because I can't remember if I've told you that I hate black and white.
You have. That's how I knew it. You've mentioned that you do not like black and white movies. And I want to watch it, but I don't want you to be miserable.
In my defense, and I can't remember when we talked about this, I think it is harder for me to watch black and white movies because they're just older, and it's not just that they're black and white, it's that they're older and are slower paced and overacted, and you know what I mean? So it's not just that they're black and white, but I do have a problem with modern movies that are black and white because it feels gimmicky to me. It's like not my fave. So anyway, I felt the need to defend myself on that. So I'm not against watching that because it's black and white. I've heard a lot of good things about that movie, I think, The Bad Seed. And I absolutely fucking love The Omen. So I'm down for either.
Ooh. Okay, can we watch The Bad Seed? Please,
Yeah.
I want to see it so bad. I want to see it again, and I pre-apologize if it's lame. This could be another Pet Sematary situation for me. I don't remember, but I remember seeing it, and it's just being creeped out by this kid.
Let's chance it.
Let's chance it. I might be really screwing up, but we can always do The Omen anytime because that's definitely one we want to watch.
For sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I feel like, oh gosh, The Omen, we really, like that movie, but my heart is saying, no, Felicia, chance it. Watch The Bad Seed. So we're going to watch The Bad Seed next. And what movie are we going to watch after that? Because we're talking about this Mother's Day theme.
I'll say which one my mom wants us to watch, and I don't know when it's going to be. We have to finagle the schedule a little bit, but my mom for literally months has been on a campaign for us to watch the movie Otis, which I know is a horror comedy, and I am not stoked to watch it. I'm sorry. It just doesn't look like our jam, like it looks like a kind of silly horror comedy. And then my dad also was like, you need to watch this movie. And I was like, okay, I know we're doing a mother's pick, but also my dad, my parents are dying for us to watch this movie. They even tried to send me home with it when I went to visit. They were like, we have the DVD somewhere. We bought the DVD. We were going to give it to you, but we can't find it. So anyway, I just need you to know how badly my family wants us to watch Otis. Who knows? It might surprise the shit out of us and we might like it a lot.
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so too.
I watched it because you told me, and I watched the preview, the trailer for it. And I really felt this could go either way.
Okay.
this could go either way. We might like this.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping.
Sometimes that happens.
Okay? I
Okay.
hope you like The Bad Seed. I hope I like The Bad Seed.
Me too.
I liked it when I was little, but we all remember The Pet Cemetery.
I'm excited. It'll be fun.
I'm excited too. We're not telling you anything else that's going on. You'll see when we post about it on the 1st of the month. And yeah, you can find us on any social media platform at Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, except Twitter is at Two Chick. Yep.
You're doing it.
Something's happening.
Something's happening. The whiskey's taking over.
No, it's the devil. He's fucking
right.
with me.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, you want to see how fun it is to be the devil?
How dare you patronize me and my job? You think this is easy?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm just out here joking around with people?
Yes.
No, bitch. It's hard.
Yes.
You gotta corrupt souls. You gotta kill goats. Do you know how hard it is to kill cute goats?
Yeah, exactly.
Felicia?
No,
All right, I'm done.
I'm sorry. Okay. Find us on all the social media platforms, especially Instagram. It's our hub. You can find us at Two Chicks and a Horror Flick. If it's on Twitter, it's Two Chicks HF. And yeah, when you listen to us or watch us on YouTube, if you feel so inclined, we would absolutely love for you to subscribe and to leave us a rating. That would be amazing. And like I just said, you can also listen to us on YouTube if that's your thing and you like to do that. What else, Tawny?
We also have a Patreon if you want to support the show, and you already covered rating and reviewing, so I think that's it. And also join our free Discord group. We have a Discord server to be able to just chat, and that's fun. I think that's it, though.
Yeah,
I was like,
fun.
Is there something else?
I feel like, but no, I think that's everything.
Yeah.
That's everything we got going on. If you want to sponsor us, if you...
yeah.
If you want to collab, yeah.
Yeah. Send us a message.
Yeah.
We do love talking to other people, and just making those connections is super fun. So definitely hit us up.
We love recommendations, because there's so much out there, and so yeah.
It might take us 100 years to get to it because there's only 4 weeks in each month. I'm always like, God, we'll never run out of movies ever.
Unless we turn into Joe Rogan level and we have editors and all we do is watch.
That's true. That's the dream.
I think we have a little bit of a ways, though, before we have to worry about running out of movies.
I think so, too. Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it. So everybody have a good night. No nightmares.